MindGuard X. Personal Mind Protection. Version 0.0.0.4. Elusive Walrus. Release date, February 8, 2003. Copyright 1995 to 2003 Lyle Zappato, all rights reserved. MindGuard X is released with no warranty under the MindGuard public license. Also, please visit the MindGuard website for updates and further information. Introduction. What is MindGuard and why should I use it? If you think protecting your hard drive from viruses is important, but give no thought to the safety of your mind, please consider the following. The technology to implant ideas and images into a person's mind using electromagnetic and sonic waves was invented more than 60 years ago and has been growing more sophisticated yearly. Secret agencies are conspiring to control your life and force you to live under a one-world government. The only thing stopping them are people of differing opinions. Alien forces are seeking to subjugate humanity to their dominion. Abductees commonly report having their memories, minds altered. Governmental regulations of questionable origin are forcing us to rid our world of lead-based products and the benefits they hold. The big buzzword in policing is non-lethal weaponry, devices that don't hurt people but make them surrender unconditionally and uncontrollably. The rise in entertainment attractions in places such as Las Vegas and Florida, not to mention the continued growth of the granddad of them all, Disneyland, is creating concentration points where the populations of the world are herded together and subjected to intense psychological programming. The seemingly innocent babble of the Teletubbies is designed to appeal to very young children on an almost biological level, inculcating in them the desire to live in a world where faceless voices command obedience under the ever-watchful gaze of Big Baby. Tinky Winky may be purple, but Poe is most certainly red. David Hasselhoff continues to impress German TV viewers. Sony, a mega multinational with a special interest in intellectual property, has created a robotic dog named Aibo that it hopes will become humanity's new best friend. The dog communicates with its owners through hypnotic limb gyrations and high-pitched sonic blips that could easily contain subliminal programming. A Japanese dictionary at hand lists Aibo as meaning accomplice. Clearly, people's minds are in greater danger now than they have ever been in the history of our planet. That's why you need MindGuard. MindGuard is a program that protects your mind by jamming or scrambling psychotronic mind control signals and removing harmful engramic pollutants from your brain. It also has the ability to scan for and decipher into English-specific signals so you can see exactly who wants to control you and what they are trying to make you think. With MindGuard, you can rest assured that your most valuable possession, your mind, is safe from the nefarious tinkering of the evildoers. Remember, mind your mind, with MindGuard. Feature list. What features does MindGuard have? MindGuard X includes these useful features: biorhythmic synchronization with scalable biorhythm graph, birth name-based numerological functions, logging and log viewer, newest Psychotronic carrier modules, modular carrier system for easy upgrades, DePsych mind deprogrammer removes post-psychotronic engrams, automatic signal deciphering, multi-user ability, algorithms used by MindGuard to detect and decipher psychotronic signals, LZI and LZI, copyright 1995 Lyle Zappato, disheveled DePsych. MindGuard has the following limitations: an effective range of only 20 feet. If you venture out of this range, please construct and use aluminum foil deflector beanie. Has no effect on VLF and ELF pain-inducing weapons due to their high power. Nor is it effective against pulse-burst microwave weapons. MindGuard is only meant to be used against psychotronic encrypted transmissions, not the transmitting vehicle. Important notice about copper-based chips: don't throw out your old computers. The computer industry, no doubt at the behest of the forces of mind control, is conspiring to replace all aluminum in computer chips with copper. IBM has already shipped millions of copper-based PowerPC CPUs and has its sights on all the other chips on your motherboard. MindGuard uses the unique psychotronic properties of the aluminum found in the chips throughout personal computers to generate its psychotronic anti-signals. An all-copper computer would not be able to generate proper anti-signals and would be unable to run MindGuard properly. However, it should still be able to pick up and decipher the signals since this is done at the semiconductor level. Do not run MindGuard on an all-copper PC. Computers with just a few copper components, such as the CPU, should still work fine for now. Make sure to do your research before replacing your mind control protection computer. MindGuard has the following bugs: a bizarre interaction between a CIA transmission and the random number generator caused an encrypted ideoglyph meaning kowtow to the New World Order and all her minions to be transformed into a synesthetic impogram that has left me deathly afraid of the color mauve. This may or may not happen again. Requirements and installation: what do I need and how do I install? MindGuard X requires a computer with aluminum circuitry, Linux or other Unix or Unix-style operating system, X Windows, GTK plus v1.2.x or better. Installing, compilation and installation instructions are included with the source code. However, here are some further installation instructions. Carrier directory. The carrier modules are kept in the carrier directory. This can be located in one of three places: /carrier/tilde/carrier/usr/local/share/mindguard/carrier/. MindGuard looks in the order listed above. This allows you to have a global set of carrier modules that every user on the system has access to, sets for individual users, and sets in the current directory for testing. You can also specify a carrier module directory at runtime using the command line option, carrier_path, usage, guide for effective use of MindGuard. Getting started, make sure MindGuard is properly installed. Start X Windows and run MindGuard. See the following sections for more specific information: Window and User Interface, Diagnostic, Scanning, Jamming, DePsych, PSIdent, Preferences, Failure, Command Line Options. Some of MindGuard's settings can be controlled on startup using command line options. The following options are currently recognized: user_name, name, sets the username and turns the eponymolog feature on. User_date, YINDD, sets the user's birth date and turns biorhythm sync on. Carrier_path, directory path, set the directory MindGuard looks for carrier modules in. Silent, phase_check, operator, kill_feedback turns on the relevant jamming features. When to use, in a word, always. In fact, if you haven't run MindGuard yet, do so immediately. Every second that you don't have it running, you are exposing yourself to potential mind programming. Multi-user ability. MindGuard X has been designed with a multi-user system in mind. Not only does it keep separate preferences for each user in his or her home directory, but MindGuard X can also be run by multiple simultaneous users over a network. By taking advantage of the network cabling or wireless transmitter, and the horrible security holes in the X Windows system, MindGuard can open up anti-psychotronic conduits on the user's terminal even if he or she isn't physically near the computer on which MindGuard is actually running. Mini FAQ on usage. Question: how do I make MindGuard run in the background and display any messages it may decipher? Answer: turn auto decipher on and silent off, then hide the window. Question: how do I make MindGuard run in the background without it upsetting my well-being by displaying disturbing messages? Answer: turn silent on. Question: I want to see what sort of messages I am receiving, but I don't want to be constantly bothered by MindGuard. What do I do? Answer: use the scan button to sate your curiosity. Question: if I leave the algorithm, scan method, scanner depth options at their default settings, will I encounter any problems? Answer: no. MindGuard is a very robust and adaptive system and will automatically try alternative settings should it judge the need. Question: how can I review the messages that MindGuard has deciphered? Answer: under the log tab, make sure log is checked, wait for deciphered messages to accumulate, then click the log viewer button to review messages. Question: I want to find out my friend, enemy's biorhythm, eponymolog, but I don't want to compromise my security by having someone else's personal info in PSIdent. What should I do? Answer: turn off the biorhythm, eponymolog features, enter in the foreign data, get the results, re-enter original data, then turn the features back on. Answer: I have a Wintel, Mac, BOS, etc. system that I mainly use. What should I do? Question: set up your Linux box next to your other computer and run MindGuard. Also, if you have an Amiga, MindGuard is available for it as well. See the MindGuard website for more details. Tips: don't watch TV while out of range of your computer. It acts as an amplifier for most psychotronic carriers. It's also a source of psionic and cerebrosonic dangers. Consider an aluminum foil deflector beanie for security in case of power outage. User interface, descriptions of Windows. Here are some screenshots to show where the different parts of the GUI referenced in the docs are, as well as what the options in the miscellaneous tab do. Tabs: see jamming for information on these options, see logging for information on these options, ask to quit, ask if you are sure before quitting, save on exit, save preferences before quitting, center windows, cause the windows to be centered when opened, about, opens a window that displays version and copyright information, and info about the author, scanning, deciphering, scanning and deciphering. MindGuard allows you to manually scan incoming psychotronic signals for decipherable content. You can also have signals isolated by the jammer auto-deciphered. How MindGuard deciphers. Psychotronic signals are encoded in a neurophasic symbolic metalanguage that takes advantage of the genetically programmed syntactical structure that is common in all human brains, as well as, to some degree, higher primates, cetaceans, and parrots. This language can be understood by all people, with some rare exceptions having to do with neurological damage, regardless of their native language. MindGuard uses a metalanguage to English conversion matrix to render the signals into something that you can consciously understand, assuming you speak English. MindGuard's deciphering abilities are meant to be used for sampling purposes. Not every signal detected and jammed will, or indeed can, be deciphered. This is to give you an idea of the types of messages being sent to you. At times, psychotronic activity can get rather high and the signals can be repetitive. MindGuard makes a judgment about which signals are strong enough for, or would be most conducive to, deciphering, and also checks the signal's fingerprint to see if it has been recently deciphered, although this isn't always effective and it errs on the side of deciphering. Manual deciphering, scanning. Manual deciphering may be initiated by pressing the scan button in the top right half of the main window. This will search for a decipherable signal and attempt to decipher it. Use this if you don't want regular decipher updates but want to see what sort of messages are being sent at the current time. Auto-deciphering. Deciphering will start automatically upon signal detection if the auto-decipher option is selected in the scan settings section of the main window and silent is turned off under the Jam tab. The signal isolated by the jammer will be used for deciphering. The scan button will be disabled when the above options are used, as all signals that can be isolated will be fed to the decipherer by the jammer. Deciphering a message. Once scanning starts, MindGuard will display the raw scan data in the scanner box at the bottom left of the main window. If a psychotronic signal is isolated, MindGuard will attempt to decipher its meaning. When a message is deciphered, MindGuard can tell it to you two different ways. Requester. MindGuard will pop up a requester that displays the message. Hit the OK button when you are done reading it. Log. If you have the log button checked under the log tab in the main window, messages will be logged so you can review them at your convenience. The signal's carrier, context, source, and other more advanced data will be displayed in the diagnostic box. If no psychotronic signals are detected, the message "no signals" will be displayed in the scanner box. Scanning options. The scan mode is selected with the scan mode drop menu in the scan settings section of the main window. The modes that the scan uses are as follows: sonic, ultrasonic and subsonic, employing intra-chip silicon harmonics, PSI, psionic energy, psychic and the like, electromagnetic range, radio, microwave, high frequency, etc., low frequency subsets, VLF, very low frequency, ELF, extremely low frequency, ULF, ultra low frequency, RLF, ridiculously low frequency. These options are mutually exclusive due to MindGuard's scanning techniques. These options have no effect on jamming, which will handle all modes automatically. Scanning depth is set with the scan depth slider at the bottom of the scan settings section, and the level of depth is displayed to the right of the slider. Scanning depth ranges from 0-50. Scanning depth controls how many iterations the algorithms go through on each chunk of raw data. You should leave it on 50 for most situations. However, some carriers can defeat the scan by distributing their signals over the lower iterations. This is only an issue for the scanning process. The scrambler will make sure any of these types of signals are made benign. Jamming, blocking psychotronic signals. MindGuard actively jams incoming psychotronic signals across the entire electromagnetic spectrum and relevant sonic and genic ranges as long as the program is running. No attempt to decipher the signals is made. Signals are just identified as such and the appropriate anti-signals are generated to cancel their effects. If a signal can't be jammed outright, it will be scrambled using a randomizing algorithm appropriate for the carrier, leaving it psychotronically inert. The jamming options are found under the Jam tab in the main window. Jamming options are as follows: silent, don't display diagnostic information on carrier hits or display any auto-deciphered messages. Use this if you want MindGuard to do nothing but jam. Scramble. Phase check, check for jam, carrier phase match on each iteration. Defeats phase shifting carriers. Doppler, corrects jamming signal for Doppler distortion of carrier signal. Useful if carrier source is a moving vector. Kill feedback, filters the scrambling signal from the detection stream. Useful in cases of heavy psychotronic activity, keeps the detection algorithms from missing hits. For information on deciphering signals, see scanning. PS ident, personalize MindGuard. MindGuard features the ability to personalize key functions of its algorithms to enhance performance. Personalization is based on proven biorhythmic and numerological technology that uses information about you to optimize MindGuard's attack on psychotronic signals. MindGuard also displays your biorhythm chart and eponymology log for other personal uses. Using PSIdent, check the options that you wish to use. Only checked options will affect MindGuard's psychotronic abilities, but unchecked ones will be available for your personal use. Biorhythmic sync. Enter your birth date into the top section. MindGuard does sanity checks for leap years and all that. A biorhythm will be drawn for you. See biorhythm for more information. Eponymology log. Enter your full birth name into the bottom section. This must include your full middle name, not initial, and not your nickname or shortened version, e. Mike instead of Michael. Your eponymology log will be displayed to the right of your name. See numerology for more information. Note: if you are unsure of your true birth date or birth name, this may be if you are an orphan or suffering from amnesia, then it is best not to use the PSIdent features, as improper information may degrade MindGuard's abilities for you. Uncheck the features that may be affected. DePsych, Psychotronic Deprogramming. MindGuard's DePsych is a psychotronic, subliminal message brain deprogrammer. How DePsych works: DePsych can remove psychotronically induced images, suggestions, etc. that have been building up in your mind through contact with various and sundry psychotronic vectors. DePsych creates a neurosensory pathway between you and your computer via the optic nerve. Holographically encoded information is presented with a blue line band that takes advantage of your occipital lobe's parallax processing abilities to decode. DePsych sends you specially tuned, neural resonating engrams that can cancel out most common types of psychotronic, subliminal programming. It also sends trigger signals that can flush and reset your short-term memory areas, what could be compared to the memory buffers for your sensory processing centers. DePsych can handle the following types of mind pollution: post-hypnotic, psychotronic suggestions, subliminal images, impograms, ideoglyphs, octusions, product logos, synesthetic associative memes, recursive harmonies, circular logic, motor reflex feedback, commercial jingles, political, cultural propaganda, and more. Usage: 1. Turn off any lights in the room, except, of course, the monitor. 2. Position yourself so the distance from your eyes to the monitor corresponds with the following chart: monitor size, eye distance, in. Dig. 8 inches, 2 inches, 13 inches, 3 inches, 15 inches, 5 inches, 17 inches, 7 inches, 21 inches, 9 inches, 3. Click the DePsych button in the main window. 4. Stare into the blue band that updates in the DePsych window, focusing your eyes behind the monitor so that the two squares above the blue band converge into one. Warning: do not follow the green line as it updates the blue band. Doing so will compromise the deprogramming and may cause epileptic seizures. 5. Continue to stare until MindGuard tells you that all traces of psychotronic programming have been flushed. Be patient, it may take a while depending on the depth of psychotronic recursion. 6. If you need to abort a deprogramming session before its completion, press the left mouse button. Caution: aborting a deprogramming session before MindGuard says to may leave psychotronic residue unflushed, leaving you vulnerable to mind control. Diagnostic: what information is displayed? MindGuard's diagnostic display gives textual information on incoming psychotronic signals from both the scanner and the jammer. It is located on the right half of the main window under the top row of buttons. Scanning, deciphering messages, signal isolated, signal was isolated and will be sent to be deciphered. Signal not isolated, unable to isolate signal to be deciphered. Carrier, XXX, gives the carrier of the isolated signal. Context, XXX, what type of information is contained in the isolated signal? This can include the following: linguistic, acting on the higher reasoning center of the brain. Textual description is given. Visual, psychosymbolic imagery and visual sensations. Textual description given. Sensual, non-visual sensations including, but not limited to, touch, taste, smell, and sound. Textual description given. Physio-emotive, psychological and physiological states. Textual description given. Source, XXX, most likely source of the signal, moving vector, etc. Info, XXX, gives various diagnostic data, for advanced users only. Undecipherable, MindGuard couldn't decipher an isolated signal. Jamming messages, carrier hit detected, MindGuard detected a carrier signal. Carrier, XXX, gives carrier type detected. Jamming. MindGuard is attempting to jam the signal. Scrambling. MindGuard will scramble the carrier. Successful, signal was negated or made inert. Failure, MindGuard was unable to defeat carrier. Please see what to do in case of a failure if this should occur. Carriers, if you select a carrier module from the list, relevant information such as its name, version, and copyright status will be displayed in the diagnostic box. When reloading the carrier modules, the carrier module directory and number of modules will be displayed. Logging, keeping track of DePsych traffic. MindGuard can log incoming signals and save all important information sequentially to a file. This will allow you to review Psychotronic traffic in order to keep track of who is trying to get you to think what. To activate logging, check the log option under the log tab in the main window. Information MindGuard logs, time, date, carrier type, diagnostic information, carrier message, if deciphered, action performed, jam, scramble, etc. Every user on the system will have a separate log file. The log file is located at /mindguard/mindguard.log. Pressing the View Log button under the Log tab in the main window will open a window that will allow you to scroll through and read your log file. Pressing the Flush Log button under the Log tab in the main window or the Log Viewer window will clear the log file. Use this if your log file starts taking up too much room. Preferences, loading and saving preferences. MindGuard's preference file is stored at /.mindguard. In other words, every user on the system will have his or her prefix stored in his or her home directory. See more on MindGuard's multi-user ability. Preferences saved in this file are all settings in the main window, all PS ident settings. Also, if you selected center window in the miscellaneous tab the last time you saved, MindGuard will center its window in the screen on startup. Otherwise the window manager will assign it its position. You may save your preferences in one of two ways. Save button in main and PS ident windows. Checking option save on exit under the miscellaneous tab in the main window will save the prefix when quitting. To reload the last saved preferences, click the load button in either the main window or the PS ident window. How to quit and why you shouldn't. Warning, it is not advised that you quit MindGuard as doing so will leave you vulnerable to psychotronic influences. MindGuard should be left running 24/7 if you know what's good for you. However, if you wish to tease fate and quit, you may do so by pushing the big, friendly button marked quit, using your window manager to quit in a normal fashion. There are two options related to quitting under the miscellaneous tab in main window. Ask to quit controls the Are you sure? Requester before quitting, save on exit controls quit and save feature, defense failure, worst case scenario. MindGuard was created with care to ensure that your mind will be safe from psychotronic intrusions. However, technology doesn't stand still. New carriers and more insidious ways of using them are being devised every week. Eventually, MindGuard will come upon a signal that it can't jam or even scramble. That is why it is important to always get the most current version of MindGuard. What to do in case of a failure? Don't panic. Panic actually heightens the effects of psychotronic signals. To relieve panic-induced stress, I suggest you try breathing exercises or imagining yourself suspended in a pool of soothing lime jello. Find a well-shielded area, deep basement, fallout shelter, inside of a refrigerator, etc., and move your computer and yourself there if you already haven't. This will be your base of operations. Avoid all contact with other people, they may be acting as psychotronic relay vectors. Make an aluminum foil deflector bunny and use it. Check where you got MindGuard to see if any new carrier modules have been released. If so, get and install them. Algorithms, detection, deciphering algorithms. The algorithm drop menu in the scan settings section of the main window lets you pick which detection, deciphering algorithm is given preference. MindGuard will attempt all algorithms if the selected one fails. MindGuard currently uses the following detection algorithms: DePsych, the most widely used psychotronic detection and deciphering algorithm. It has a 87% success rate. LZI and LZI, these were created by me to make up for weaknesses in DB. They are most effective against paraterrestrial carriers. LZI uses a passive phase reducer, and is best suited to Antarctic relay signals. LZI uses an active phase inducer, and is best suited to gray transmissions. The LZ class has a 92% success rate. DePsych, deciphering, detection algorithm created by Viku Gurtu, see multiphasic imprints, in DePsych 93 Proceedings, Delhi, Vamaki Press, 1994, pp.4467. Zebook, the official psychotronic detection, deciphering algorithm approved by the UN, CIA, NSA, Disney, and other assorted baddies and liberati sycophants. Needless to say, this algorithm is filled with holes that let all manner of psychotronic pollution into your head. It was designed to lull people into a false sense of protection from the liberati while also blocking paraterrestrial carriers, thereby giving the terrestrial agencies an advantage in the liberati, reticuli and mind race. Do not select this algorithm. It was included for the ironic enjoyment of advanced users only. Carriers, list of known carriers. Carriers are the methods used to encipher and deliver signals. Carrier specifications include spectrum, wavelength, frequency, and how the signal is enciphered and how the cipher acts on the brain. Carriers are named after the groups who developed them and/or use them. MindGuard uses modular carrier files so you can always be sure to have the most current level of protection. Just move new carriers into the carrier directory, or replace old versions with new ones. MindGuard will automatically recognize and install them. If you install new modules while MindGuard is running, make sure you click the Known Carriers button to reload the modules. The currently installed modules are displayed in the carrier list in the upper left side of the main window below the Known Carriers button. Antarctic Relay, V2.00, CIA Beta, V2.50, CIA Russell, V2.00, FBI Brother, V2.01, Cortec KPSI, V2.20, Liberati, V2.70, Reticulin, All, V3.42, Russian TZ8, V2.90, UN Belgian Subset, V1.80, UN Metric, V2.60. The actual module files have names that follow the form. Carrier. These usually have a smaller name than the carrier they detect, e. UN Belgian Subset is Belgian.carrier, since all relevant information is stored inside the file, which is an IFF-Psych file format. MindGuard X carrier modules are compatible with MindGuard for Amiga. History, future, what's new and what's old. Where MindGuard might go, February 8, 2003, v0.0.0.4, codename Elusive Walrus, added, command line options, module list is now sorted, better module error handling, various small bugs fixed, modest code cleanup, improved documentation, November 15, 2000, v0.0.0.3, various small bugs fixed, May 22, 2000, v0.0.0.2, updated email, URL, GIF-free documentation, annual version number incrementation, July 23, 1999, v0.0.0.1, initial public release, to be implemented, graphical display of visual signals. Translation for all my Belgian friends, wink wink, real-time signal deciphering, or maybe not, this is a very processor-hungry task. Transparietal screening, is this possible? I've heard of occipital harmonics, but what about the envelope size? Sonic hypnovaccination, leaves you unresponsive to psychotronic hypnography, good for when you're away from your computer. Could last for hours. Reflexological adjustment via electromagnetic field of monitor, bugs, limitations, things you should know about. MindGuard has the following bugs. A bizarre interaction between a CIA transmission and the random number generator caused an encrypted ideoglyph meaning kowtow to the New World Order and all her minions to be transformed into a synesthetic impogram that has left me deathly afraid of the color mauve. This may or may not happen again. Acknowledgements. Since MindGuard was first released on the Amiga, I have received email from users with various suggestions and questions. I have tried to implement some of the most asked for features and have tried to include answers to your questions in the documentation. Linux users have the Amiga community to thank for making this anti-psychotronic software possible for them. Thanks to Abe O'Malley for the multiphasic Tumblr fix. For the people who wrote to me suggesting I seek professional help, you know who you are. We'll see who has the last laugh when the black helicopters finally land. And, again, I am indebted to Bill Gates, David Hasselhoff, Tom Brokaw, the New World Order, and the fine folks at Cortec KPSI International, without whom none of this would be possible. About the author, Lyle Zapato. My name is Lyle Zapato. I have a website, www.zapatalpi.net. I also have an email address, lyle@zapatalpi.net. My other computer is an Amiga. I cannot tell